Hey guys, Miles here with xda-TV, and I've been more or less using the HTC U Ultra for about a week now, and given that this phone is $750 unlocked, it sucks, straight up. If you don't want to count the Google Pixel, this is my first HTC device, and I was really interested in what the experience would be like when I got it. So when I unboxed this phone, I was pretty impressed with the feel in the hand, and the super reflective glass back looks really slick. I'm not really that big of a fan of the way they designed the front of the phone, but you know, it could be worse. The phone is really big, and that's saying something because I've used some really big phones, and I just feel like there was no real value or purpose of it being this size, and I'll get into that a bit more later. So yeah, overall build quality is nice, besides the fact that the back attracts fingerprints super easily, but a lot of phones do, so I'm not going to give it flack for that. Now the main feature of this phone is that secondary screen up top, and it's more or less a spec for spec copy of the LG V20 second screen. It has a few things that the V20 doesn't, like the weather widget and calendar reminders, but it's also lacking some things that the V20 has, like the signature widget, as well as the always on functionality, which isn't like that's something that a secondary display should always be able to do. I don't know, the second screen just doesn't feel interesting to me at all, and there's nothing really groundbreaking about it. Now when it comes to the software overall, it's just okay. They've taken an approach much closer to stock, which I like, but it doesn't have that buttery smooth and clean experience like the OnePlus 3T or Pixel does. The phone definitely has its occasional lag and stutter, but the overall performance is pretty solid. There are some nice little audio enhancement features built into this phone, and the phone even comes with some USB-C headphones made by HTC, which I'm all for. There's nobody more pro USB-C than me, but if this is something that heavily contributes to that $750 price tag, I still don't think it's justifiable. The average consumer probably won't care that much about something like this. The capacitive hardware buttons on this phone are not really made that well. I found myself constantly pressing the recent buttons on accident when I'm using the phone in landscape mode, and this is something that gets really annoying. The camera on this phone isn't too bad. From the little I've used it, it surprised me beyond my expectations, and I'd say the camera is the most appealing aspect to this phone. Now here's where things get pretty frustrating. This phone is humongous, so you'd expect a big phone with a big battery. Well, no, the HTC U Ultra has a 3000 mAh battery, so I thought before using it maybe the battery life could still be okay, and I was of course wrong. I have the Pixel XL, OnePlus 3T, Moto Z, etc., and out of all of these devices, the U Ultra has the weakest battery performance, and it's basically the biggest phone out of all of them I just mentioned. So yeah, just to clarify, this isn't a bad phone on its own I suppose, but for $750 it's definitely overpriced and not very competitive at all. And we also don't know if this will be HTC's only flagship for the year, so hopefully HTC can make up for this with an HTC 11. So if it wasn't obvious already, I highly recommend that you don't spend your money on this phone. That's it, make sure to subscribe for future content like this, and I'll talk to you guys in the next video.